Welcome to a very special interview show of Deep Road. It is my pleasure to have Comrade Debashish Basu Chaudhary sir on our show. Debashish sir is currently the National General Secretary of Bank Employees Association of India, which is one of country's most prestigious bank trade unions. Thank you very much, sir, for agreeing to this interview and welcome to Deep Road.
I'm also feel privileged. I also thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to talk about our banking industry to you.
Thank you, sir. So before moving to any hardcore topics, I would like you to explain to our viewers in a simple language that what exactly a trade union does. What is the significance of a trade union in a democracy?
Actually, the trade union means it is an association of members. One individual may not manifest his thinkings, his views, whatever his ideology to the management or whatever it is. So we form an association to express the views and ideas of the employees to the management, and it is also very much beneficial to the management also. Just by interacting with a section of people, they can interact with the whole community also. Secondly, we are also looking after the rights and privileges that are being enshrined in constitution or whatever in the industry particularly. On behalf of the employees, we are involved in collective bargaining for the benefits of the employees. We also form some cooperatives, some other form of association for relaxation and other recreational activities also. By that way also, we are uh, forming a family, an extended family of ourselves. That is, we are having families now. After the our limitation, there are something to be done that is being done by the unions. Say, for example, I just give you only one example. Uh, if an employee dies in hardness, then what will be the future of the families? Actually, the government or the bank managements, whatever it is, they are very much reluctant. It is the unions who try for the employment of next kin of the employees, and whatever dues and other things are there. The family members are also most of the times are not aware of these things. See, in this manner also we also help them when they are in distress, when they are ill, when they are hospitalized, then also the union comes forward. So, in one sense, we have some social outlook. Apart from the other things, we are moving with some social outlook, some social obligations we also feel up. So, this is the way the unions are functioning.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So coming to the main question, sir, and this question is very personal to me as well because my mother also works in Bank of India, and you very well know that Bank of India is having the highest chance of being privatized. So recently, Niti Aayog, which happens to be the think tank of the Indian government, suggested to allow the long-term private capital in public sector banks, and this led to a huge debate of privatization. What was your initial reaction when this news came out that the government is thinking to privatize the public sector banks?
No, actually, we must say that the banks were nationalized about 51 years ago in 1969. It was just not an overnight decision that one government thought that the banks will be nationalized. It was a long drawn process. The unions in the banking industry was formed as back as 1946. After a certain period of time, unions also fought very hard for the nationalization of the private sector banks. And in 1969, in the first phase, 14 private sector banks were nationalized and who are having more the deposits, business of more than 50 crores. And in the second phase, that we all know that in 1986, more banks were nationalized. In the days, IDBI Bank was also made a commercial bank. Bhartiya Mohila Bank was formed also. After these, the associate banks were also nationalized. Previous to this, State Bank was nationalized, of course, in 1955. And Reserve Bank of India also formed as a subsidiary company of Government of India. But still, we consider 1969 to be the nationalization year of the banking industry. Now, since 1996, 69 to 1991, there was a phase that the banking industry had expansion in nook and corner branches were opened, and particularly, as we all know, that there was nexus between bank and industry when it was privatized. Negligency to the agriculture, as because 70% of our people was dependent on agriculture. There were several bank failures. I'm not going into any details that in we know that 1935 to 1947, 900 banks failed. Since 1947 to 1969, more than 660 banks failed. That is why that also was a problem for the depositors. Uh, Soundness of the banking that was also required, and stability of the banking sector, particularly to achieve widest spread of banking credit, particularly to prevent misuse of banks' funds, and to direct larger volume of credit to the priority sector, and to provide security to the depositors. This was the main thing banking industry national. Now there was a phase from 1969 to 1991 when it expanded in all forms of terms: deposit, credit, employment, and branches. Since 1991, with the advent of the new economic policy, when Dr. Modi was the finance minister, then in the financial reforms as a part of the LPG, that we know, liberalization, privatization, globalization format, as a part of the uh, reforms measure, several committees was from Narsimham Committee 1 to JP Naik Committee, PJ Naik Committee. And all these committees' recommendations were to reduce the government equity in the public sector banks. Particularly, 92 government was trying very hard to privatize the banks, diluting government share. And at some point of time, that the share of the government should come below 50%. But due to the movement of the bank employees since 1991, if you take since 2020, the bank employees have observed 56 days strike. Their own salaries and own their benefits only against these reforms whose ultimate aim was to privatize the public sector. So this is the history. Now, at this point of time, after the merger, we told that merger is a belief because the public knows that the people have faith on the public sector industries, not only banks, insurance, and other public sectors. So, by front door, they cannot privatize the bank. So, at certain point of time, they tried to dilute the share of the banks, and due to some accounting norms, the bank's performance uh, became fragile. I'm not telling that the bank became weak. The norms get in the fashion, and particularly the bank credit is directed in such a fashion that the people may think that these public sector banks have become weak, but this is not the fact. Now, after this merger process has taken place, there are 6 banks we know, smaller banks. Bank of India is the largest bank amongst these banks, and other banks. Recently, we at the media report that 3 public sector banks government are considering to privatize these. Now, against the privatization, bank employees movement is there. Definitely, we have already demonstrated against this media report. I'm not telling that the government will overnight privatize all these things, but this is coming as a policy because you know that during this COVID-19 pandemic, when finance minister was uh, announcing rupees 20 lakh crore package, though it is not 20 lakh crore, the government is giving from their expense. It is only 10% of that the government is bearing. All are funded money. Now she is announcing in this manner. I do not know how this privatization that will come under 20 lakh crore package. Now, while doing so, he told that in the strategic sector, which was confined for the public sector under enterprises only, in the strategic sector, the private sector will be allowed to function. And so far as the public sector enterprises are concerned, only 1 to 4 public sector will stay in a single strategic sector. Now, other than strategic sectors, she categorically told that all these will be either privatized or sold or will be handed over to a joint holding company. So when she was asked whether banks are coming into this category, she told that no, it is not coming into that. But it is also that if it is strategic sector, it will be sold. If it will be privatized, as per what I'm not telling that once it announced, the government will be able. So the movement has already started of the working class, of the common people, and the people of the country knows that this is a government which has come to sell all public sector undertaking and they are doing so due to the fact that they are to serve the private sector companies. When in these situations, for example, have lost their job, have lost their purchasing, then the property of money is increasing. So this is the way.
Yeah.
In exchange of weakening or selling by the public sector, they are trying to serve the private sectors, particularly big business houses' interests. This is our thinking, and we are opposing this.
Okay. The argument given by the government is that the main purpose behind this plan is to stall future bailouts by using taxpayers' money. So, what are your thoughts on this?
No, actually, what is the problem of the banking industry now? The problem is the bad debts, particularly uh, the big business houses. They have taken loans and they are not paying, and government is not trying anything to get the repayment back. And we know that the top 36 borrowers have already left the country.
Hmm.
Now, what is the problem? That every time for the last 5 years in a row, the public sector banks as a whole, they are incurring net loss. But it is also a fact that every year the public sector banks has earned huge operating profit. If in the last 5 years, since 2014, if you take, the public sector banks has made operating profit to the tune of 7.5 lakh crore. But during these 5 years, it has to provide for the bad loans more than 9 lakh crores. By that way, we secured a net loss of 1,50,000 crores in last 5 years. And for the provision, most of the provision, 90% of the provisions are for bad debts, those which did not come. So you have to consider this thing. Number two, what is also our concern is the loan written off. That is the loan that those are not coming, those are being written off. In the last 5 years, the total amount of written off loan is more than 5 lakh crore. The government is telling that loan written off does not mean that we have all waived the loan. There is always possibility of recovering the loan. But what is the statistics? The government is telling that in the last 5 years, only 10% of the written off loan has come back. It's against 4,50,000 crores in the last 4 years. Government has realized 46,000 crores from the loan written off. Rest of the money has gone. We all know that fraudulent activities are going on. In the 6 months, that is in this financial year, last financial year, 2019-20, first 6 months, only fraudulent activities money for frauds, 1,13,000 crores has to be provided. In 2018-19, in the whole year, it was 71,000. So in the 6 months, 13,000 is further. So this is also being provided from the banks. Particularly, it is concerning the media reports has come. You also very much know it that during the last 6 months, the banks has to provide 68,000 crores for the willful defaulters. And who are these willful defaulters? It is Nirav Modi, it is Mehul Chokshi, and Vijay Mallya.
Malia.
These are names. There are
Yeah.
other names also.
Yeah.
People know this name. For these people, 68,000 crores has been provided for willful default. So this is the record. If we wipe out this, if we can get the bad debts back from these big business borrowers, if we can get the total amount of money which has been written off from the bank's account, if this willful defaulters is forced to give us the back money, then the banks will be full of net profit also. Lakhs of crores which can be used for the nation. So this is the thing that public sector banks, quite knowledgeably by the government of India, is allowed to be looted by the big business houses.
Okay.
So we do
Sir,
not.
Niti Aayog. Okay. Okay, sir. Niti Aayog has also recommended providing bank license to a few selected industrial houses as well. How do you see this?
No, actually, what we mean that definitely they are telling all these things and they are allowing private sector in the strategic sectors also. It is not a very unusual thing that to allow private industry to open public sector banks, but we know the private sector banks how it is functioning. Say for example, if you about the performance, just I'm giving one statistics that during the for the COVID-19 in the rupees 20 lakh crore package, the Indian Finance Minister announced that 3 lakh crore will be given to the MSME sector. That is correct. And particularly of 3 lakh crore rupees, the public sector banks mostly has been utilized. The government did not think about the private sector bank. So far, till yesterday, that I got the statistics, the public sector bank has disbursed 40,460 crore during this period of time to the MSME sector. So the fact is that most of the MSMEs that have stopped operations since the lockdown, the government is telling that 30 to 35% MSME will not be able to continue their functioning. So it is also a problem that though 3 lakh crore rupees has been given to the MSMEs, but there is lack in demand because people are not having purchasing power. So that is also one problem. I'm not going into it. So public sector banks has given 40,460 crore to the MSME sector. Now the government is the private sector bank has to come forward also. So it is also a fact that this whole amount has to be given by the public sector banks only. Private sector bank will not come forward. If you take for Jan Dhan Yojana account, this is a flagship program of the government. This government since 2014. Yojana account open till now. 97% has been opened by the public sector banks only, including the regional rural bank.
Yeah.
So for the development of the banking industry and what is happening in private sector banks, we know that banks, private sector banks, World Bank Government of India, 1994, as declared by Dr. Manmohan Singh, is Global Trust Bank banks were taken over by the public sector banks to save the depositors. Now we are observing what is happening in Yes Bank. Huge amount of money has been defrauded of the bank. Now State Bank has been told to look over this, and the Deputy Managing Director of State Bank of India has been selected as the CEO and the MD of Yes Bank.
Yes.
Now what about ICICI Bank, Axis Bank? The top executive of these two banks has to move away from their due to alleged fraudulent. Now these are the features. What is happening with the non-banking financial companies, ILNFS, DHFL? Crores and crores of people are being deprived of their legitimate money. So this is the track record of the private sector banking and non-banking financial companies. So once these banks are coming up, if there is public sector bank in the market, I don't think that they will be of a big competitor until and unless as white elephant. That is the government which is trying. That these are white elephants, these are for no good. So until and unless public sector banks are there in the market, I don't think that there will be severe competition unless the government intentionally against the public sector banks to be handed over to private sector.
Okay. So okay. Yes. So continue.
We certainly think that you know that the government opened some RBI gave a license for some payments banks, small finance banks. But most of these companies who applied for opening these banks, even after getting green signal from the RBI, most of these companies are not opening their banks. So it is not so that government takes a decision that the private sectors will be given license for opening banks. We don't think that the private sectors will be there banks in good numbers. Rather, they will be happy to get to take over some public sector banks, as you are telling that these banks may be privatized. So these are the things in our particular views to oppose the government.
Okay, sir. On one hand, okay, sir, continue.
No.
Okay. On one hand, government brings schemes like Ujjwala and Ayushman Bharat and claims that they are pro-poor and middle class. And on the other hand, we have seen examples of crony capitalism like privatization. So there is so much contradiction in both the things. How would you respond to this?
No, no. Actually, whatever, say for example, if any scheme it becomes beneficial to people, we always welcome it. There is no doubt about it. But the main thing is that if you float a scheme just to misguide the people, that should be opposed. So if by Ujjwala scheme some people are benefited, we don't have any problem. But crony capitalism means not only privatization, but particularly allowing the big business houses for looting and plundering the public money. If you provide 9 lakh crores of rupees for bad debts in 5 years, it is public money. Public money being utilized, and a public sector bank's profit means it is to the government. That is how the public money is. And particularly what we are telling, that any public sector enterprise, it is not a property of any government. Government comes and goes. It is a property of the nation. Any government, they may think that we are the majority in the parliament and by way of which we can do anything. No, that is not the thing. Public sector enterprise is for the nation. It is not for a government. So whatever the government is doing, it is against the interest of the nation. And these public sector enterprises has been prepared after our nationalization for a self-reliant economy. While Union Finance Minister was telling that this is for Atmanirbhar Bharat, as new and self-reliant India. How? By selling the public sector, self-reliance will be there, we do not know. Because once it is privatized, the next day, the foreign multinational company will come and they will purchase these companies from our Indian private sector. So this is not self-reliance. This is just only selling India to the now Indian big business houses and later to the foreign multinational. Okay. So definitely, this is a contradictory stand taken by the government of India.
Okay. I would like to conclude by asking that what are your suggestions to the government regarding the privatization of public sector units?
No, actually, what we think that there are many units which are capable of facing today's requirements. Some units may require modernization. Some units require some technical help. Some require some technological upgradation. So I think that there are many public sector undertakings which can compete even the international companies also. There are so many companies we all know. But if you privatize hearing, then the whole civil aviation will be in the private sector. There will be no government. If you privatize BSNL, then the telecommunication sector will all be privatized. There will be no there. Now, if you sell IOL, BCPL, every oil sectors, then the total energy sector will be privatized. So how a national government of more than 135 crore people will run without all these things giving in the private sector? So our opinion is that we have resources, we have people, we have demand in the market. Market of 135 crore people is a big market. This is the main thing that is the multinational companies are dreaming of, to get this big market. So I think that by strengthening the public sector, our economy will be strengthened, and of course we can make a real self-reliant India in the coming days. And by this, we can serve the poor and distressed people to give them some purchasing power, by way of which also the industries can be, what can I say, their GDP growth will be also there, and the country will be beneficial in due course. That is what we are thinking.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for taking out the time, and thank you very much.